No. So first-time buyers. First-time buyers often ask us, what are the first steps we should take if we're thinking about buying a property? Well, it always starts with the money. So first thing to do is to find out how much money you can borrow versus how much deposit you have, and then check out to see from there how much you can go house shopping with. Please don't rely on an online algorithmy thing like just pop on wecangetanymortgage.com and you can do a rough calculation of that, but it doesn't really hold water. I've known people do that and say, oh, I can buy at 300. But when it goes to the lenders to work out how much money they're prepared to lend you, they use a whole different set of numbers. So go to a financial broker or direct to your lender. But I'm going to do another thing on mortgages in a minute. I will always recommend going to an independent financial broker because they have access to far more products out there for you to choose from. Anyway, go to your lenders or broker, find out how much you can actually borrow before you go house shopping. Once you've got that in mind, then go and choose a solicitor. Yeah, I know. It's really worth choosing a solicitor before you find a house to buy. Then you can actually get registered with them. They can do their initial instruction paperwork with them, and that will actually save an awful lot of time further down the line. So when you find a house to buy and you go to the estate agent and you go, I kind of want to make an offer on that one, they'll go, So are you ready? Well, I am actually. Look, here's my agreement in principle from my lenders. No, not an online algorithm, but a proper agreement in principle from HSBC or Barclays or wherever it may be. And I've got a solicitor. I've already instructed them. These are my solicitors, because that saves a lot of time further down the line. And then it can put you in a really favourable light with the estate agent, especially if they've got more than one buyer for a property. They can recommend you to the sellers and go, these are really efficient people. They've already started the process. When you make an offer on a house, the estate agent through whom you've offered may well ask you to do an independent financial check with their independent in-house broker. That's entirely appropriate because their broker may want to just double check the figures to make sure the lending really is suitable for you. I know you've got your agreement in principle, but they have their processes. They want to recommend you to their sellers based on their numbers as well. I know it sounds illogical. You've already got this. If that's what they want, let them do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, their broker may actually come up with another deal that might even be better for you. And they may even try and take you away from your other broker, or you may decide to stick with your broker. That's fine. But they may well ask you to have a financial check done, and that's entirely appropriate. Then they can go and speak to Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Smith, or whatever, and say, these people have passed all our financial checks and we can recommend them to you. The other thing to have checked out is on your rental, if you're renting, how much notice you have to give on your rental so you can work out accurate timescales that you wish to make on the house that you're buying, whether between exchange and completion you have to give 2 months notice or 1 month notice, whether you want to cross over that period so that you have a bit more time in your rental while owning this, so you've got time to paint it, prepare it for you. Anyway, just work out some timescales. So, broker, solicitor, check your rental contract, check out the timings that you want to work to, and make sure all of that works for this potential seller as well. It's quite simple, but always worth having those things in mind. Lastly, the estate agent may well ask where your deposit's coming from. You may think it's none of their business. Actually, it is. So your deposit may be tied up in a 6-month investment portfolio, and you can't get it out for 6 months. That makes a difference to the seller. It might be you're borrowing the money from your parents or gifted deposit from your parents. That's important because family members who give a gifted deposit also have to be financially checked. It's very long and complicated, but all of it's relevant. So that's the beginning. Advice for first-time buyers. Money, deposit, timescales with the rental, get a solicitor, be prepared for the estate agent to try and broker you another financial advisor. They can ask, but they may well do a second check on you. That's all fine. Hopefully that helps. Those are the first steps that I would take.